You'd all stand if you're able and join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Morning, Mr. Chair.
Good morning and good morning, everyone. Today's June 6th, 2023. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. And if your intent is to be at the Morrison County Commissioners Board meeting, you are at the right place. Don't have a lot of people in our crowd this morning, at least right at the moment, but we do have Miss Amy, so welcome. Thank you for being here. And we have a new person doing our camera work for Great River. Tim is with us this morning. Tim is the new Mark, so welcome aboard, Tim. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. First item of business is going to be our agenda. Do we have any additions or corrections? We have none. Anybody have anything they want to add or subtract? I'd look for a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Number 4 is going to be the approval of our consent agenda. I'll look to the board if anybody wants to converse about anything.
Mr. Chair.
We've got a motion and a second. This is going to be a roll call vote. Commissioner Casper?
Aye.
Commissioner Lemire?
Aye.
Commissioner Blaine?
Aye.
Commissioner Wincher?
Aye.
And myself, Commissioner Jelinski, is an aye vote. That motion passes. Thank you very much. We'll move into number 5 on our agenda. Number 5 on our agenda is a Too Tall Tavern Large Assembly application. And I'm going to turn to Matt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Auditor Treasurer's Office, I bring to you, the board, this morning a large assembly permit application from Too Tall Tavern. This application was presented and staffed. It is a request to conduct a large assembly gathering of up to 1,200 people at Too Tall Tavern on August 5th for a concert. This request is very similar to concerts in years in the past. The most significant change from this request as before is that instead of 2 concerts, it is 1. This request has been staffed through the Sheriff's Office as well as Health and Human Services and the Auditor Treasurer's Office. All departments have acknowledged and have no concerns with the request as the owner has laid out the mitigation strategy. The concert or the event begins at 5 and runs until midnight. The concert itself begins at 8:30. The performer that's scheduled is Colt Ford. Attendance is limited to 1,200 participants, and it will be controlled by security that they have hired at the event, as well as a fence around the venue. Scandi Valley Fire's nearby for support. Oh, and sir, you want to come forward? I'm talking all about you.
I'm sorry, I'm Mike, guys.
Not a problem. Good morning. Please take a chair.
My parking lot this morning.
Not a problem. We'll let Matt continue, and then we'll turn to you.
If you want to introduce yourself anyway, so we know who's...
Please.
John Burkachik, the owner of Too Tall Tavern.
Okay, and again, the event August 5th, 1,200 people cap, begins at 5, ends at midnight with the concert from Colt Ford starting at 8:30. Scandi Valley Fire is nearby. Morrison County Sheriff's Department is there to support as well or to respond as necessary. Notice was sent out as stated to all departments with no concerns listed. So pending any concerns of the board or questions to John? Sure. We offer you the application.
Absolutely. Good morning again, John.
Morning.
We just had the lowdown.
Yep.
We've had it in our packet also, but we just had the lowdown from our administrator. What do you have to add for us today?
I don't really know. We will have multiple security guards on staff. We've never had a problem in the past with any of our larger concerts. And it helps that Morrison County deputies are there too. So there's always, the last big concerts, there's been like 3 deputies. And so that's been really, really helpful because then everybody stays in line. And so it's pretty good. We've got parking lined up, so we should not have vehicles on the road. I don't want vehicles on the road. There should not be a problem with that. There's going to be food on site. There'll be first responders on site. There will be law enforcement. all the porta potties are all set in place already. So there's 12 of the 12 porta potties, I believe, and then the handicap stuff will be inside the building. And then there'll be two main exits, for one towards the stage and then one towards the back of the crowd. So should be, even if somebody does have an issue, we'll be able to get an ambulance in and out, so.
Well, you've had shows there before, and there hasn't been a problem that I'm aware of at all. Throughout any of your shows in the past. I don't expect that there's gonna be any now. I turn to the board if the board
Mr.
has
Chair, I'll
any
make a motion
questions.
to approve the application.
Got a motion on the table, is there a second?
Second,
Got a motion and a second on the table, is there further discussion? Commissioner Wincher.
question, is this a covered event too? So like if there's in case of inclement weather or what happens there?
It's rain or shine.
It is, okay.
Yep, so there's pre-buy tickets, and if it starts raining, we wait it out, and then, wait for the rain to stop. If it doesn't stop, then I think we got 90 days to put the show, to rehab the show again.
Oh, okay.
So then we honor all the tickets.
Because sometimes these, again, if you have a band or whatever, if it starts lightning, they don't like that when they're out there.
No, they really don't like that at all, no. No.
Right.
There was only one band in the past that, was an AC/DC tribute band, and it was lightning and they would not stop, so they played some Thunderstruck during that whole lightning show. So, they were the only ones that I ever saw play in the lightning.
Thanks for that information.
All right.
Anyone else? Okay, we've got a motion, we've got a second, we've got discussion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion passes. John, thank you very much. I
right.
apologize for you coming. Don't worry about being late or nothing like that. However, I know it's a short thing, but it's good to have you on board in
Yep.
person. If there would be a question from anyone here, as there was with Commissioner Wincher, so I very much appreciate you being here.
No, thank you guys, I appreciate your time. They did want a certificate of liability insurance, my up-to-date one, so I got that,
I
so
think that's at the
Yep,
auditor's.
out of the treasurer's office.
that's
Thank you.
auditor's office,
You bet.
so
Thank
run that up to Matt.
Well,
No.
I'm a Matt, I don't know when there, I can take it. I think, I would ask that you go up to the auditor treasurer's office and give it
Okay.
to somebody who's there. If there's no one available, I will take it and make sure that it gets to Laura or Debbie.
Okay, otherwise, yeah, I can forward it to Laura too, on email.
That's who's looking for it.
Yeah, you should go and deliver that in person.
And I think she's gone today.
That's right. So just leave it with one of the staff there and they'll get it to her.
All right, and that's second.
One half flight up or 2 flights and you'll get there.
All right, hey, thank you guys very much for
Very
your
good.
time.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
All right, next item of business is going to be land services. Amy's in the crowd. If you want to come up. Good morning, Miss Amy.
Morning.
Morning, Amy.
I have one item for you today, and that is to consider the conditional use permit request from Fellowship Bible Church of Piers. This was a request to add on to the existing church, and this was considered by the Planning Commission and recommended for approval.
Look to the board, I'd look for a motion.
Motion.
We've got a motion, is there a second? Got a motion and a second. Further discussion? Mr. Casper?
Mr. Chair, I was just going to ask you, I was just talking to Greg. Is it something, I attend church there, is it best for me to recuse myself, or is that not an issue?
As far as I'm concerned, it's not an issue.
Okay, thank you.
Not an issue in at least a little bit. Comments from the board?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Just for a commissioner, it's typically if you stand for financial gain. So if you don't stand to receive financial gain, you don't need to recuse yourself or abstain from voting.
I get 10% of the offering. I'm kidding.
Okay. All that being said, most of us either were here in person and watched the planning commission, listened to the planning commission, or some of us were viewed it on Teams, and maybe some of us were not here and viewed it at a later time. So we're all on top of what was going on with it. Any further questions from the board, concerns regarding this? We've got a motion, we've got a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion passes.
All right.
Miss Amy, thank you very, very
Thank
much.
you, Mr. Chair. That's all I have.
Wonderful.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
All right, we've kind of got a limited agenda this morning, but we're going to move right along, and I'm going to turn over to our administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And despite last week not having a planning session, it is limited today. I have one item for the board, and that is the authorization to backfill 2 positions within Health and Human Services. We received notification of resignment after the 23rd and before today. So it was the week of the 22nd there, and I, as I stated, coming after the fact, I allowed HR and the department to post the positions, but still wanted to come to board for authorization before we begin the interviews and hire to backfill those 2 positions. I just didn't want the department to go to lose 2 weeks' time before filling those critical spots. So just looking for an authorization that the board is all right with
Look
that.
for a motion.
I'll make a motion for approval, Mr. Chair.
Got a motion, is there a second?
I'd second it.
Okay, got a motion and a second, further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor? Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and that's all I have for the board, unless you have
All right.
anything for me.
I don't have anything for you.
We gotta ask some questions here just to make it longer, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you what, our next item of business is going to go through our committee schedules, and I'll turn to Tabitha. What days are we looking for, between when and when?
June 11th through June 24th.
June 11th through the 24th, and I'll tell you what, folks, I'll get it kicked off. The 12th at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't know who, but we are certainly all invited to our AMC District 5 meeting in Benton County. That's at 250 Summit Avenue North in Sauk Rapids. There's usually a spring and a fall meeting that AMC puts on, and this term or this cycle it's in Benton County.
It's 8 to noon.
It's 8 to noon, that's correct. On Tuesday, the 13th, 8:30 in the morning, we've got a planning meeting. Sometime after that planning meeting, I've got an audit entrance meeting here at the Government Center. At 6 o'clock that night, the PCBOA meets. However, there is no planning commission that night. There's no planning commission on the 13th,
BOA?
just BOA. On the 14th at 11 o'clock in the morning, I have a Central Minnesota Emergency Services Board Executive Committee meeting, followed by at 1 o'clock, Central Minnesota Emergency Services Full Board. Both of those meetings are going to be at the City of St. Cloud. At 5 o'clock that evening, here in the Government Center, the board will convene for the appeal of equalization. Also, at 9:30 on the 14th, scheduled till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which I will not be able to attend, it's our water plan is having a big meeting here in the boardroom. On the 15th at 10 o'clock in the morning, I have a Central Minnesota Emergency Services Board Owners and Operators Users Committee meeting. That's going to be a virtual meeting. And 18th, 20th. On the 19th of June, Morrison County is going to celebrate its first Juneteenth holiday, if you will. On the 20th at 9 o'clock in the morning, we've got a county board meeting. On the 21st at 5 p.m., I have a Hands of Hope meeting, and that is a virtual meeting. On the 22nd at 12:30 in the afternoon, I have a State Emergency Communications Board meeting. That meeting is going to be a virtual meeting. The county fair opens up that day. At 3 o'clock that day, I have a 2023 Public Safety Communications Conference Planning Meeting, which is virtual. Moving on to the 23rd. 23rd is the second day of the Morrison County Fair. And the 24th is the third and final day of the county fair. And at 9:30 in the morning, myself, I believe Commissioner Lemire,
Yep.
and maybe Beth, and maybe Matt too, are all going to be at the fair, manning our booths or staffing, doing whatever. And I think my shift goes till, or our shift goes until 1 maybe? I'm not sure, I can't remember.
I think you're.
1:30?
All day.
Oh, they.
No, that's it. After that, I'll be ready to go. And, okay, folks, that's all I've got. I'll turn to Commissioner Wincher, fill in some more blanks.
All right, anyway, on the 14th, that that water task force, what time does that start, do we know?
I got it here.
Yeah, it's 9:30.
9:30 to 2.
Yeah, I know it's, been attended, so I just wanted to verify that. Great River Regional Library will be canceled, we have no meeting for, Great River Regional Library. On the 22nd, I have Tri-County Community Action, that's at 5:30 at the, here in Little Falls. On Friday, the 23rd, I have Soil and Water at 8 o'clock, and that does me in.
Okay, Commissioner Lemire.
12 on the 12th, the Yellow Ribbon Committee, Little Falls Legion, 3:30. On the 15th, Safety Committee meeting, 2 o'clock. That's usually held in the Piers Room. And you got everything else.
Okay. Commissioner Bland.
Thursday, the 22nd, Region 5 Development Commission will meet at 6 PM at Sourcewell. That's all I have.
Commissioner Casper.
I have on the 15th at noon, Airport Commission meeting out at the airport. And then the 21st, 10 o'clock, Sourcewell, Staples. And then the 22nd, Rum River Watershed, Malacca Courthouse at 4:30. And then there's a meeting in question on the 23rd, 9 AM, Mississippi Headwater Board. That one is dependent if there's an agenda, that's in question.
Okay,
That's it.
that's
Thank you.
it. Very good.
And if I may, for on the 17th, it's also a Dam Festival,
Oh,
so just
Okay.
to put that out there too.
very
so.
good.
What time?
Dam Festival, I believe, is all day long here in Little Falls. There's a parade.
Yeah, and I'll be in the parade.
Oh, excellent.
There you go, so
Excellent.
want some candy,
Yeah, I do want some candy. What kind?
what kind of, okay. But anyway, so, yeah.
Gentlemen, I do have one more thing, and that's just to make you all aware, if you don't know, former Morrison County deputy, one of our former dog handlers, Dave Sherping, was in a fatal car crash over the weekend. If anybody wants to offer condolences, that'd be up at the sheriff's office. I think Thursday is the wake service. Funeral service is Friday. I believe the funeral service is at St. Mary's in Little Falls. I knew Dave rather well. I hired him actually in the dispatch center, is where he got his start. And just tick-tock, how the time goes and things happen. That's all it is. Anyone have anything else for the goodness of the cause? That being said, it's 9:18. This is probably one of our record board meetings. It's 9:18, and I am going to conclude this meeting. We're adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.